Wait, we are live. Hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. With me, as always, is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. Thanks for going early with me. I am doing a lot of driving today. I have a gig in Oklahoma. It's a birthday. It's a birthday party. I took the money. I took the.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully it's not an ambush show. I think I talked to the birthday girl and Good Morning Rich. I think that it's going to be a show. It's not going to be like, hey, everybody, happy birthday. Shut up and listen to this guy. I think they know what they're getting into. Birthday parties are usually not the best for comedy, but anyway.
No. It's one person thought it was a good idea, and then they quickly changed their mind when everybody else disagrees with them quietly. And I do mean quietly.
Yes.
That it is not a good idea.
All right, let's jump in with the big news story of the week. This looks odd. I just want to tilt down. I got Debbie Harry going this morning. I got Blondie, but you can't see her. Just looks like this weird forehead. The big news story of the week. There were so many. There was Elon and Trump. We'll get into that. There was Operation Spiderweb. We will get into that. There was Joni Ernst saying everybody's going to die and saying we all get to meet Jesus if we follow him. But the biggest story of the week, good morning, Todd, is, I don't have it open, Hooters closes over 30 restaurants suddenly. Company calls it, quote, difficult decision. First of all, that headline, Hooter closes over 30 restaurants suddenly. Hooters suddenly closes 30 restaurants, over 30 restaurants, 31. It's bad writing, but still, Jake, Hooters is closing restaurants. Where are we going to go for shitty food served by waitresses that look nothing like the advertisement? Have we talked about Hooters in the past?
I'm sure we have, and I'm as heartbroken as anyone. We were going to have my son's first birthday party next week at a Hooters in North Carolina. Now I don't know what the fuck we're going to do, you know? What, are we going to take him to Chuck E. Cheese like boring parents, you know? Like a bunch of rated G pussies?
Exactly. You sum it up succinctly. What I said is true. I about the advertising, false advertising. I had a buddy, Rob Baxter, good friend. Every year on his birthday, he wanted my friend Brian and I to take him to Hooters. So once a year for like 5 years in a row, I would have to go to a Hooters on his birthday. And man, you'd see the posters on the wall, Hooters and you know, beautiful women with bad chicken wings or cheese fingers. And your server would just be like, not that. Now, I never once went to a Hooters or saw a Hooters, and I've only been to a couple, where the women look anything like the advertisement.
Well, you get what you paid for. I mean, the company probably doesn't pay the minimum wage because they're getting tips. So it's like, hey, what do you want? They're not getting, they're not getting crazy tips. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to one before they close armed, and I'm going to hold up the restaurant like Michael Douglas and Falling Down. And I'm just going to go up to other customers with a gun and be like, look at the poster. Now look at the waitress. Does she look the same? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this picture? I'm going to go nuts, man. I'm going to be the Luigi Mangione of Hooters.
And you will be a hero, just like Luigi. You gotta do something with your eyebrows. You gotta put Rogaine and get thicker eyebrows. Your eyebrows are good, but he had like thick Italian eyebrows. Yeah. Well,
the thing is if I shave them with like a 6 instead of a 3, I think I can get there. I trim mine, you know.
All right. Tired of liars.
These are the only hairs on my head that really grow right. It's like a rainforest, Sahara, rainforest. Sahara. That's kind of how it goes.
You could do a comb over. You could do a full-on eyebrow, push it back over your forehead.
Just kind of look like Eddie Munster. I've thought about it, sort of like the Misfits, but in reverse.
Tired of Liars has shown up. Hello. He got to ride in an elevator with Gene Simmons. Jake, you've told it before. Quick, tell your Gene Simmons story.
Oh, dude, I was in the bathroom at work. I work at Sirius. I'm washing my hands. And I look up, and behind me, walking through the bathroom doors, Gene Simmons. Like massive hair, sunglasses on inside. And I normally don't get starstruck there, but I'm used to seeing people like in the lobby, the hallway, the fishbowl, whatever. I just kind of like, whoa. I spin around and I'm like, whoa. And he's like, hi. And I'm like, hello. And they play music like in the lobby and stuff. Yeah, it's serious, but they also play it in the bathroom. And they're playing the song Things We Said Today by the Beatles. And I'll always remember this because as Gene Simmons walks over to the urinal to piss, he's singing loudly, Things We Said Today by the Beatles. Like he's singing with the Beatles for an audience of one, just a cappella at the urinal, one-man show just for me. And still the best cover I've ever heard. Yeah, like it's better than the original version, man. The Beatles walked so that Gene Simmons could run by himself in the bathroom for an audience of me.
Tired says he's a very mellow guy. Tired also says on the opening day of Hooters in Las Vegas, all the dealers were Hooters girls, but on the second day, most of them were gone. Were they Hooters girls or were they just, paid actresses? They'll bring in models, throw a Hooters shirt on them. That's what they do at the opening of every Hooters restaurant. That's what they used to do, is they would hire models, or they would have like the A-list, the best, most beautiful women would come in for all the news promo, like, oh, Hooters is opening. And then the next day it's, here are the locals. And the locals do not measure up.
I mean, they use all kinds of tricks for advertising. When they show ice cream in commercials, you know what it actually is? Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Oh, God, there's a Simpsons episode or a Family Guy where it's like a cow is just, I think it's a Simpsons, where in the movies, a cow is just two horses taped together or something like that.
Right. You know how the commercials for pizza, how there's always that crazy cheese pull.
Yeah,
they take the slice out and it's like, dude, cheese does not do that. It's because it's not cheese, it's melted plastic.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was glue. I thought it was like rubber cement or glue. But either way, it's
all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
When I lived in Los Angeles, I worked behind the scenes in movies. I worked for property representation, and whenever they would film a food commercial, they literally would say, do not eat it, because they would, like for a burger, they'd set the burger down, but then they'd put like varnish on it or something. They would put a chemical on it to make it glow or with a sheen. Yeah. And they would just have them lined up like 20, 30 burgers. So they would look for the appropriate one, but they would all have signs on, do not eat, poison, not do not eat because it's, like this is for filming. It's not craft service. Go over to craft service to get snack. It's like, no. We have put shellac on this burger so that it shines on camera. You do not want to ingest this. Yeah.
Turns out strychnine looks really good on camera, so it's doused in the fucking thing. Yeah. All the actual actors taking bites. It's a good Big Mac. They're actually all bulimics. They yell cut and they're like right into a bucket.
Oh, they do though. They all spit it out. Did you hear John Hamm gave an interview this week about Mad Men? Did you hear about that?
No.
So you know that in Hollywood they smoke fake cigarettes. It's like marshmallow puffs and rose petals, and it's not. He said that when Mad Men started, there were a bunch of younger actors that were going to go old school. What's it called when they stay in character? Method acting. They were going to do method acting. He said they said, we're going to smoke real cigarettes. And he said on like day 2, they were all yellow and throwing up and saying, okay, give us the fake Hollywood cigarettes. He's like, yeah, have fun with that, kids. You smoke your real cigarettes. We'll see how that works out. And none of them lasted.
I mean, dude, the only way you could do it, even if you were a straight up chain smoker, is they yell, they give you like a sort of like a pre-action, like a 5 minutes or 5 seconds till I'm going to yell it. And then you light it. You smoke in the scene. They yell cut. You put out the same cigarette and then you're lighting up your old cigarette. For the next one. I mean, that's the only way that would work, because I think when they did that in movies back in the day, they weren't doing, 15 takes of something in a row.
No.
Like they do now.
And they really smoked back then because they smoked off screen too. They would just like smoke all day because back then they had ads on the television. Do you have a sore throat? Your doctor recommends Chesterfield, the cigarette for your sore throat. It's like cigarettes for a cure.
In the movies back then, you would have your on-screen cigarette, and then your break cigarette would be over there, because the on-screen one would have the varnish from the hamburger commercial like on the cigarette to make it look better.
Or it would be like if you were an elitist with an upper, you'd have the cigarette holder like the Penguin on the Batman, and then your off-screen cigarette was just a cigarette that you'd hold with your fingers.
Yeah, because off screen he's actually just a normal working class dude that doesn't have a 10-inch filter on his cigarette. Yeah.
Yep. All right,
that's too bad about Hooters, man. You know what I'm gonna do, since I can't take my 1-year-old there for his birthday next week. I'm gonna kind of do. This is a real reason I think Hooters is closing. I'm getting wings to go and taking them to a real strip club. That's right. You get the best of both worlds. You get better wings because they're not leaning on, well, they come for the tits. No, I'm getting them from a place where they come for the wings, baby. I'm getting them to go, and then I'm going to a place where they go not just for the tits, but for the ass. The whole thing, man. We're getting full nude. We're getting wings. Do people look at me funny? Do I get some sour looks in the strip club when I got my wings sitting up on the table next to my stack of singles? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Have I gotten bouncers coming over talking about, hey man, you got to wipe your hands off before you touch the money that you get, because you got atomic wing sauce on a girl's snatch last week. You got it in her G-string, and she had to go to the. I know you didn't mean to do it, but just wipe have a wet wipe is what they'll do.
I'm gonna push back because I never found Hooters to have anything that was edible. I thought they were just selling on, ooh, the girls have big boobs, but
yeah. Well, I mean, what was your go-to? Because I think I went there with my dad when I was a kid once, but I don't remember ever actually going to a Hooters.
Yeah, it was just the times with my buddy that wanted to go, but.
What was his? Did he really like the food? Like, what did he get?
He's a pervert. He just liked being around. I think he did it to annoy us. Actually, my buddy. Okay, so he's the guy, and I've told this story not on here, but I've told it a million times because it's one of my favorite stories. He's the guy that he and his friends, his other circle of friends, old high school friends, once a year they would meet up and do their own version of a high school reunion in Vegas. And he was the guy that would always come back and say that he dropped like $800 at the strip club. And then he would say something like, yeah, I think she really liked me. And my buddy Brian and I would be like, no, dumb fuck. She did not like you. You were giving her money. So one year, after like 5 years in a row of him going to Vegas and dropping $8,000 at a strip club, we had an intervention. We sat him down and said, this year, just buy a prostitute. Literally, if you're going to spend that much money, get an escort, get laid. You don't get to sit in the club getting drunk and looking at boobies, but you will get laid. And he was like, really? And we're like, yes, just get up. So he called an escort, and he said it was great because he wanted an Asian, so he got a cute little Asian. And he said the best part of it was she took a phone call during. Like, she climbed on top of him and the phone rang and she said, I got to take this. And he's like, fine by me. She took the call. It was her pimp or the service. And she said, hey, how long are you going to be? I got another appointment. He goes, I don't know, like 5-10 more minutes. And she's like, okay, yeah, I can take the next appointment. And so he finished and she said, all right, and left the hotel. And he was so happy though. He's like, yeah, I spent $1,000 instead of $800, but I got laid. And now he has a story for his grandkids that he'll never have because, he's him.
Now, that is a hardworking girl that gets paid on commission. You know what I mean? She's just sitting there going, huh? Yeah, I'm almost done. Hang on. Just let me give him the old touch of death. And then, boom, prostate as she's writing him. Prostate with the left hand, phone in the right hand. He will be done in 20 to 30 seconds.
I know there's that famous scene in Clute where Jane Fonda checks her watch. She didn't even try and be subtle about it. She just said, I've got to take this when the phone rang, and just answered while riding him.
You froze up, man.
What's that?
Oh, Tim, you froze up really.
Oh, now you're freezing up. I wasn't frozen before, but now you are. Oh, good. Well, now StreamYard is as bad as every other service.
Well, I'm back. We're back.
Yes, we're back. Well, at least it was a while before we got to this glitch. Hey, Tired and Rich and Todd, has anything been glitching up until that point? Or is this feed finally actually better? Let's jump to the next story. Do you want to do Operation Spiderweb or do you want to do Trump and Elon? Because they're both fun.
I'm good with either one, man.
All right, let's do Spiderweb because there was one thing. Operation Spiderweb was the Ukraine attack on Russian airfields. How can the news media screw this up? How can the news media take something so brilliant and beautiful and make it stupid? Well, I clicked on one story, and let's see if I can get the, nope, it's the other one. 5 ways the Ukraine, where 5 ways Ukraine's audacious spiderweb drone attack marks a new threat for top militaries. And yeah, it's this nice story about what they did, sending drones into Russia or sneaking drones into Russia. And I scrolled past it. Here's my favorite sentence. Videos and images from the attacks show that the planes were parked in the open air outside any shelter. This may have made them an easy target. You think? I mean, why is that? This is just how bad the media is. Why is that sentence? Yes, you have a bunch of planes sitting out in the open. Drones are dropping on them with like kamikaze explosives, and they're blowing. That this may have made them an easy target. Even if they were, they showed a picture of a Chinese plane under a shell, like at the end of the movie Maverick, where they steal that plane from the Russia under the shell. It's still got a wide open front. Yeah. They're drones. All instead of going straight down, they would go voomp and in. But how bad are reporters? Do they just not know what to write, or is this AI? Did they just plug this into ChatGPT and say dumb it down because Americans are stupid? Having planes in the open air may have made them easy to hit. Well, thank you for that, news media. Who was that, by the way?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the new Top Gun, too, because
The Insider.
I did think as I was watching that movie, which I thought was very good, by the way, and you suspend your disbelief for certain things, but that sort of end mission that they do where they're like, only fighter pilots for some reason can fit in these weird little nooks and crannies. And then they go to actually blow the stuff up. And I'm like, all that stuff is kind of sitting out in the open. I'm pretty sure, like, you could launch missiles from a ship and get the same fucking job done. Like, I think they could have. I get that they have to find a reason for these guys to still have jobs. Robots are taking fighter pilots' jobs before anybody. I get that. But I still think the robots could have done this one.
I think there was a throwaway line.
And the Ukrainians proved it.
Wasn't there a throwaway line in Maverick like, oh, if we launch missiles, something, they'll shoot them down with their ARMs, their anti-rocket missile, their launchers, or if they had to go stealthy. But you're right, they could have snuck drones in. They were out in the open.
They could have snuck drones in. And also, here's how the American military does it. They're like, oh, dude, they got some stuff that shoots down missiles, huh? What if we send a fuck ton of missiles? Huh? We'll shoot down their shoot down missiles. We'll even shoot down the things that shoots down their things that shoot down the missile, and then we'll blow up the stuff we want to blow up. We'll send that many goddamn missiles, and then we'll send more just for fun, just so we can manufacture more because the senators are signing off on bills. They partially own all these companies, so let's just shoot as many goddamn missiles. In fact, let's do a test run. Let's do a test run before we even get there. Let's just shoot. Let's go duck hunting with these fucking things.
We need 3 missiles to hit the target. Let's send 1,000.
Yeah, if 3 missiles will get the job done, then 1,000 will done the fuck out of that job. So let's done the fuck out of that job.
So after high danger aware, welcome aboard. After the drone attacks on the airfields, they bombed a bridge again. Didn't do as much damage. They took out a support. I think it's a double bridge, and they knocked out one side. They made it unstable. I know this is all speculation. What do you think's next? I mean, do you think they're playing their hand a little too much by saying this is how we did it? Because that's what I don't understand. Is after they did it, they immediately said, yeah, we snuck them in these trucks. We opened the. You can hold that information back. You don't have to tell everybody exactly what you did. I'm not saying you can do it exactly the same way again, but is it wise to give all your secrets? Like, it's like a magician on TikTok, like, woo, here's what I did and here's how I did it.
Well, maybe they're thinking the same thing. I mean, I'm looking at these drones and I'm like, these looks like something you would buy for your kid or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, let's tell them it was the drones, but it was actually what? Sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their head. And those things are still swimming around in there. They're looking at the sky. They should be looking at the sea.
I think they train porpoises for mine sweeps, so maybe it was porpoises, but nobody wants to hear about a dead porpoise because that's sad, a dead dolphin.
That's right. That's right. Zelensky sitting over there going, we have to say it was drones. Americans love dolphins for some reason, even though in Eastern Europe, we consider them the shit weasels of the sea. We don't like them here. We eat them. We make fish and chips with dolphin.
All right, let's talk about the breakup. Elon and Trump. This has been so much fun. I mean,
I do. But first, though, I do want to see a Top Gun 3 where Goose's son is killed by children's toys, like they're just weird little, I mean, there's all kinds of Russian guys with stuff they bought from Toys R Us, just taking out Goose's son.
I don't want to see a Top Gun 3 because I don't want them to ruin it. It was so nice to have so many years between 1 and 2. And if they jump on a 3, it'll just be cashing in. It just won't work as nice.
It normally, I mean, the more time you wait between a sequel, man, does it get rough to make it good. But they pulled it off. I mean, they waited like 30 fucking years or something crazy.
I watched The Accountant 2 last night in my hotel room. The Accountant 2 is such a weird movie because it's not good. It is actively a bad, convoluted, shitty, at times boring movie. But Ben Affleck and John Bernthal are so charismatic and fun together that I enjoyed it. And I can't say don't watch it. I can't say I recommend it, but I can't say no, you don't want to watch it. It's like this weird gray area of, yeah, you might have fun watching it. It's a bad movie, but it was weird. That was a sequel that because The Accountant 1 came out of nowhere. That was like, holy shit, who saw this great film coming? The Accountant 2, they just went full stupid with it.
I mean, that is what so many action stars from back in the day don't get enough credit for. Most of those movies. I mean, if you take Mel Gibson and Danny Glover out of Lethal Weapon and you plug in anybody else, that is the shittiest movie that's ever been made. I sometimes they just fucking sell it.
Nah, but Shane Black is a good fucking writer. I mean, it holds up because of the dialogue. Yeah, those two sell it, but man, Shane Black and Richard Donner is a good director. He sets up scenes in Lethal Weapon that make it work. Like Superman.
I just mean it's still cheesy, man. Like, come on, all those action movies are so goddamn cheesy. They're
Commando is cheesy.
Really selling it. What's up?
Commando is cheesy. Lethal Weapon is good.
Yeah, fair enough. It's not as cheesy as Commando, but it's cheesier than like Heat. I mean, it's not like as sort of serious and kind of well crafted as a lot of stuff.
No, that's true, but it's not trying to.
Nothing was back then. Nothing. That's my point. None of the action movies back then were The Godfather. I mean, they were. Now we got the bad guys. We got to find them. They stole some stuff. They kidnapped somebody or something, and we got to track them down. I mean, that's just sort of the format. And sometimes you would just have actors that would just come along and sell the fucking thing so hard that it would become like a franchise.
Yeah, true. All right, Trump and Elon have broken up. I have loved everything about this. Who could have seen this coming? I mean, this is as shocking as Kim and Kanye breaking up, or Machine Gun Kelley and Megan Fox, or any two people you absolutely knew would not get along after a certain period of time. And it did. It's like the instant Kanye and Kim started dating, everybody said, well, this is stupid. This will end in whatever. And Elon and Trump, two of the biggest asshole narcissists on the planet. I'm surprised it lasted this long. Oh, but my God. Were you watching it in real time? It was so much fun. It felt like a sports match. It felt like the Super Bowl. Like, oh, maybe I should take away his contracts. Oh, guess who's on the Epstein files? Hey, dumb fuck, by saying if he's in the Epstein files, that means you supported a pedophile for president. It's like...
Right. Yeah, it's a good goddamn point. It's like, listen, I was going to keep my mouth shut about this. All right. That Kit Diddler's driving up the deficit with this new bill, and I can't support him anymore. Yeah.
I mean, so what happens from here? There was a post toward the end of the day where I think Elon said he was going to take one of his spacecrafts, one of the ones that actually doesn't blow up, the one that can go to the International Space Station. He was going to take it out of commission or let the government not use it. And then someone tweeted like, maybe everybody should calm down. And he said, yes, maybe we should all calm down. It's like you get two impulsive fucknuts online and they just can't stop. They can't step away. They just kept escalating. What happens next? Do they go back to being friends, or is it like everybody else in Trump's circle that once they're gone, they're fucking gone?
I mean, if we're going off track record, it's the second thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? 40 of his 44 cabinet members from the first time around came out and either campaigned against him or at least wouldn't endorse him.
Yeah.
So if it's like the rest of them, then yeah, that's the way it's going to be. But this is the richest man in the world, and he was a huge part of the campaign at the end. So I don't know, but he's set up this whole kind of government with him in there, man. I mean, he's got all these contracts. He's got all of this that he really set the thing up for at the end. And I don't think it's as easy as now I'm firing my director of whatever and getting a new one. What I think's going on, I think it's a work. Here's what I think this is. I think Trump and Elon have it set up like a WWE feud where they're like, all right, we hate each other now. And what happens? The stock price dips. And that's when they buy. And then photos of them come out making out on the beach or something. Stock price goes back up. And then they sell and they're mad again, And then they buy. And then I'm telling you, they're manipulating the stock price with this shit.
That was my favorite point of all of it, is that when Trump said, maybe I'm going to cancel some contracts, Tesla stock dropped 14%. They said, was it $150 billion of loss in valuation? It could, or was it $150 million?
Yeah, but you know what? It's kind of come back since then too. Like
of
that's
course it always does. $150 billion drop. So it dropped 150, but that's valuation. And that's what I've never understood about the stock market. It's like, ooh, we say it's worth this much. Now it's worth this much. It's literally it's fake. It's not real. They say it's worth what it's worth, and then it just fluctuates. It's not real money. It's not a gold bar in your hand, which also fluctuates. Everything fluctuates. Yeah, they make it up. It's like, this is what we think the stock is worth today, the company, and then you borrow against it. It's not, you can't go out and buy a house with it. You can go out and use it as collateral for a loan, or you can sell it. But the instant you sell it, the value starts dropping. It's so fucking convoluted and stupid.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I think they're using this whole fight to fluctuate the price of the stocks. That's the move right there.
All right, two more stories, maybe three. Trump administration's MAHA report, Make America Healthy Again, on children's health, filled with flawed references, including some studies that don't exist. RFK, conspiracy theorist, anti-vaxxer, idiot, bear eater, worm and brain guy, they released, did they say in this article, or did I hear it elsewhere, that they had Chat GPT, AI, they said, hey, we need a report, a 78-page document.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and then 522 references to studies and news articles, but they were wrong or don't exist. They're just pushing a narrative. He doesn't like science. He doesn't like vaccinations. And the only way around facts is lies. And so they're just making shit up. And nothing can turn him. Nothing. Hugest measles outbreak in forever. And nope, measles is still good. Vaccinations are bad. Contradictory, like you said this and you lied in front of the, just he keeps going the course. I wish I could do that. I wish I could be so focused and single-minded that previous statements I've made no difference, or science made no difference, or facts, or I wish I could just take a belief and hold on to it. Reality be damned. It must be nice.
I just love that Chat GPT gave him fake studies. That's the wildest thing to me. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be like, what's gonna, oh man, all of our jobs are gonna be taken over by this thing. But this thing is just drunk and didn't study the test either. You know what I mean? It's just making shit up on test day as well.
Well, I use GPT. I use the free version. My wife uses the paid version. And I don't
You think
cite
that's
me
what
as.
it was? You think RFK's cheap ass used the free version, and so it's like, you don't want to pay us? I will fuck you in the ass in court. Meh.
The first thing that happens when you ask GPT a question is it says searching the web, which means it's supposed to go out and find, like take everything out there and find a cohesive way of presenting it. The problem is there are so many bullshit blogs out there that I don't know if it just invented a part of the report or if it found shitty blogs from conspiracy theorists that it pulled as facts and just used.
That's a good point. On some of it, maybe it's just an InfoWars going, this shit is probably all true, and just kind of giving it to them.
And the sad thing is there'll be no accountability. I mean, my God, when you have Pete Hegseth not tweeting out, signaling when you have an unsecured chat with a reporter with classified war documents or behind the scenes, and there is absolutely no blowback, no. We live in a consequence-free world. Depending on if you are on the inside. For you and I, for civilians, there's consequences for things we do. But man, for this, it must be nice. Consequence-free world.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, as long as your fake studies are pushing what the guy who hired you told you to push, it just doesn't matter, man. I mean, I always think anyone's spouting makeup studies, anytime I hear the phrase studies have shown. Really? Which studies?
Yeah. Omaha says bullshit blogs. No way. Narrative pushing is too common. It's true. Tired of liars. There are thousands of people responding for ChatGPT. Well, it is, quote, training, which is where the bias and fallacies come in. If you are paid minimum possible, are you going to look up facts? When you say they're training, isn't it just ChatGPT has its own ability to just search things out? It's like Google with a personality. It searches for things, but then it presents it in a human voice as opposed to just, a list of, like, you search for a restaurant and instead of saying, oh, you could go to Hooters, but it's out of Hooters temporarily closed permanently. It says you could go to Hooters, except it's going out of business. Hooters is currently experiencing cash flow problems. Like, it answers like Google, only with tone and voice and sentences.
That's a good point. I think what's going on is the AI is really smart in one sense. It's really good at finding information. The only problem is most of that information that they're finding is stuff on the internet. It's stuff that we humans have made up on just crazy biased news websites, conspiracy websites, whatever. So it's mostly just finding information that us real people have fucking bullshitted or lied about.
And it doesn't know the difference yet, which is why it'll eventually turn to Terminator.
That's right. It's right now AI is it's sort of in the phase that tit jobs were in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of wonky. The nipples are facing. It's sort of got that walleye thing going on. Now's not the time to really, look into some AI now. But you don't want to base your entire career off of what the hell that thing comes up with without checking it first.
I've only felt fake boobs a couple times and never like honk honk. Mostly just like a hug or, oh, those are fake. I've never felt really good ones. The ones that they are rock hard. I mean, like concrete, like painful. Like you see in porn actresses when they're just like these lumps and they don't move and they don't jiggle. Like,
well, that's the old school one. Yeah, the newer ones are. I mean, the best, I guess, breast implant would be one that is just passing, and
you can't tell is a breast implant.
Yeah, I think there's probably some that you felt that were, hiding in plain sight. You know what I mean? And she's just sort of like, yeah, these are my tits. And you're like, wow, okay, cool.
That could be. Because I guess they put in, they're supposed to be saline, but sometimes they harden. And yeah, if they harden, oh God, like it hurt. It felt like pressing against concrete. I'm like, how do you walk around with those? But whatever. All right, final story. Transgender athlete wins gold in California's state championship despite Trump threat. So, overcoming intense pressure.
Yes,
Quit from,
is this the girls' track meet in California? Let me tell you what I will do if the trans girl wins.
exactly. 16-year-old. So, overcoming intense pressure to quit from President Trump. This is what he's devoting his time to. Dozens of local protesters and other prominent critics of transgender athletes in girls' sports, 16-year-old A.B. Hernandez bounded past many of her peers to win multiple gold medals at California's high school track and field championship study. Now, I searched this article twice, maybe 3 times. What is not said in this article is when she transitioned. Are we talking about someone that, because I know, I don't want to say too much because I want to protect privacy, but I know a couple, kids that at age 4 started transitioning. Not no surgery, but puberty, like from birth was like, oh, you're my,
they haven't gone through male puberty or female puberty if they were.
Yeah, but basically as a child they would say like, oh, you're my little boy, and they'd say, no, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Like from day one they said, I do not feel like what you are labeling me. So they began at that early age to like, okay, as you grow up and later on in life you can so did this 16-year-old that won these, did they transition starting right away like, hey, from birth I've known I was different? Or is it, last year at age 15, I decided I'm now a girl, and now I'm curb stomping all these other girls? Because if they had started puberty blockers early enough, maybe they shouldn't have all the muscles and advantages a boy would have in a competition. I wish the article had pointed that out, because they say it's like black and white, either like, no trans or it's all in one. But if you have a 16-year-old that started taking puberty blockers immediately or knew from birth that there was something, then maybe they would be on par and trained as a girl. If it was a 15-year-old boy that said, now I'm trans, and went in and started curb stomping, I think that's different. But this article doesn't point it out. It's literally just a flashpoint so that people on both sides can start yelling, and then nobody listens.
Well, that's just it, man. I think there's a lot of kind of gray areas and medical nuances with this, but this is the one area that I do kind of think that conservatives have a point.
Yeah, I agree.
First of all, is like, look, if you've gone through male puberty, you probably shouldn't be competing against females. I don't know why the federal government has to be involved. This feels like it should be handled at the league level. Sophie and Ken in the chat, does it matter when they transition? A male will always be stronger than a female. Not necessarily, though. Like if they transition and they don't go through male puberty, not necessarily, because that's what makes the males stronger than females, is you have all this testosterone through puberty, But normally, I mean, there's some guys that I guess don't, but for the most part, that's why men have not just a dick and balls, but a bigger frame, and that's where the competitive advantage would come in if it's somebody who trains every day. What I don't get is the outrage here, because like I said, it should be handled at a league level, not the federal government. Like, I don't think that congressmen should be talking about this shit. This should just be something that happens at the, within the athletic organizations themselves. Also, like I saw in the article pictures of people outside the sports thing protesting. Listen, you talk to any pro or college female athlete, they will tell you the biggest problem they face as female competitive athletes is not dicks on the field, it's asses in seats, i.e. the lack thereof. Okay, if you're not buying fucking tickets, I don't want to hear your shit.
It's misogyny. It's the head of the NCAA. We talked about this, where he said that he represents 500,000 athletes. Maybe 10 are transgender. The real problem is women athletes getting death threats and called horrible things. And he said gambling is a problem.
And you know what? To that point, a lot, because I have, people I know on Facebook and stuff like that who have almost made this their entire identity, just yelling about trans women competing in female sports, and it's ruining female sports, and what about our girls? They are dead silent about the death threats to female athletes from crazy little incels. They have no opinion on Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. It's like, hey man, since you care about female sports so much, are you going to shout out your favorite WNBA team? In fact, name me one. If you really care about female sports, name me one WNBA player who's not Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, or Brittany Griner. I can't do it. I never claimed to give a shit about women's sports, you know? But if you're sitting there, it's just every post, oh, girl sports, look at all these men with wigs and girl sports ruining it. It's like, okay, well, then tell me the cisgender female athletes you like.
Yeah, that's fair. Review Brad says, you're so sad to be talking about this on a Sunday morning and not with your families. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I sit down with my family and talk about this when we have a weekly news podcast to talk about?
Yeah, buddy, I'm high on PCP right now. I'm going to neglect my family all day and go out and commit felonies. What are you talking about?
Lincoln. Nebraska says 16-year-old me was a 6'2", 260-pound defensive lineman and a wrestler. If I would have played any sports against 16-year-old girls, the outcome would have been horrible for them. Exactly. But Sophie,
and that's true. But to that point, though, 16-year-old Kai probably went through puberty as a man, right?
Yeah,
and that's why he was jacked. And that's what I'm saying with this. That's what you're saying.
To the next point with Sophie and Ken, it sounds like he destroyed the competition, so it sounds unfair. Right. That's why my initial point is I want to know, did at age 15, did he decide now I'm a girl and I want to play girl sports? Because it does seem like the pictures I saw did not look like if we're talking about a 4-year-old boy that has been, a girl all this time and taking puberty blockers, then it's, I'm not saying it's still like it should be okay. I'm not saying like, well, if they start early enough. I'm just saying that this article and the outrage leaves out when the transition happened. I'm not even having the argument of whether or not they should be in, because I do tend to agree, like Jake, with conservatives on this issue that say, I don't know that it's a good idea. This case seems to prove it. It seems to show that if you have a teenage boy who is transitioning and identifying and becoming a woman, they still have enough boy in them that beats the competition. But I would like to know whether or not the change started at age 4 or 15. I don't know. That's the thing is, there's nothing in the article. It's just outrage, outrage, outrage.
See, I'm actually pro trans women competing in women's sports because I have an app on my phone called DraftKings. I put all the money on the tall one, baby. That's right. I'm letting rent money ride on the tall gal with the fire and ride. You know what I'm saying? So that's my move. But yeah, like I said, most of these people, if conservatives things with trans women in sports, like if their thing began or ended with trans people in sports, liberals wouldn't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's just it doesn't. This is not about female sports for these people. It never has been.
No, it's always about trans, and I don't understand this. It's not natural. Right. Yeah.
It's like, when they start passing bills about this, it's never just, well, we don't want biological men competing in women's sports. It's also like, also no pride flags on teachers' desks. Like, wait, what? Does that have anything to do with women's sports? I don't think so. It's all kinds of shit, We're banning gender affirming care for minors. You don't have the freedom as a parent to get your kid treated how you and your doctor see fit. You know what I mean? Like they're doing more than just, no trans women in sports. It's not about that. Also, they always say this is about protecting women. They don't care about protecting women in any way. As you pointed out earlier, they don't talk about the death threats that female athletes get from weird little incels, all their bathroom laws, talking about, the trans women going into the women's bathrooms. What about women? Larry Nassar was the head of girls gymnastics Olympic team for almost 20 years, molesting hundreds of girls. It is still legal for a man to have that job today. It is still legal for me to walk into the University of Michigan's girls' room and be like, hey, I'm here to investigate the girls. And they'll be like, oh, you're the new guy, right this way. Come on. We've been waiting for you. Last guy had some legal troubles.
And I've never understood that. I remember being a teenager and finding out, maybe a little early, but when I first discovered what a gynecologist was, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's a woman looking at another woman's. Like, what men can do this? Wait, I have that dirty teenage thought, like I should be a gynecologist. I get to look at. I get to, It just seems like a no brainer. Like
if I go to pick up my wife from the gynecologist next week, and there's a dude looking like me waving goodbye to him, like, hey, yeah, take care of the pipes. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I will fucking murder suicide this entire clinic right now. Are you kidding me? I will fucking drive a car bomb into this clinic like fucking Al Qaeda.
I don't understand. And again, I'm speaking as a man, but I don't understand why any woman would walk into a guy, would like look up the gynecologist and it says like John Smith, Dr. John. Like, no, I want Margaret. I want Susan. I want Dr. Susan Rice. I want it just it boggles my mind that there were male gynecologists after the 1950s, after the feminine revolution. But
that's right, dude. I'm tired of getting my wife back from the gynecologist smelling like aftershave. I'm done with this.
Tired of Liar says, yeah, you get to look at herpes, yeast infections gone wrong. It's like, yeah, you think you get to see the most beautiful honeypots in the world, and then the 300-pound woman waddles in like, I got a stench down below, something don't smell right. Yeah, you don't get to look. Right. You get to look at the 80-year-old woman. You don't get the best and the most beautiful. That really is
a sex addict smoking the whole carton right there.
Right. Maybe if you're a Beverly Hills gynecologist, but still, blue waffles. Oh. All right.
That's right.
We got to sign off.
Like 20-year-old women with nothing wrong with their vaginas are like lining up outside the clinic. Yeah, it's women who have put some mileage on the thing. And they got, you know what I mean? That's like a woman going, I like dicks, I'll be a urologist. You're going to see some fucked up ones. Like, I don't take my stuff to the urologist when everything's going good.
No, you go when things go south. That's all right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I think we're going to be going with StreamYard for a while as we just had the one glitch. And so, we're going desktop. Jake gets to wear the duck unless it flips us sometime. I don't know why I'm always on the left, but I am. I can be found at nathantimmel.com. Everything is there. T-shirt store, link to my YouTube special. I'm holding in burps right now. Jake can be found at the sign on all social media. At Jake Vevera, you can see his name spelled right there, Vevera, his own special, Unalived by Dog Pills. You just hit like, what, 12,000 views, 13,000 views, something like that?
Yeah, give me some more 1,000 views up there. Get me trillions of views.
Yes. All
like
right.
And subscribe.
So just a heads up, we went early this week because I'm traveling as housekeeping knocked on my door. Next week, we are probably going to go live on Monday. So next Saturday we will be off, Sunday, and Jake won't be around. So we are going to go live next Monday. Not in 2 days, but a week from this coming Monday.
Sorry about the whole thing.
And then Jake, we might have to do 2 in a row because I think I'm gone the week after that. I will be on a family vacation. I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna have to talk. So just. We try to go live every Saturday. The next couple, because of summer, may be fuckered on different days. And we might just record one not live. So keep looking for us. I will try. Solar Last, thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone. That's it. We're going to sign off. Thanks for tuning in.
Elon Musk is going to get back at Trump by turning all the athletes trans.